How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we're doing a little bit different in discussion videos for Fusion World. We're going to do how to play Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World because it's a brand new card game out, and while it's similar to Masters and also similar to One Piece in how simplified it is his own card game a little bit different because it mixes a bit like the best of both of those games together, like similar to Masters but more simplified, like back in the first like it was in the back in the first set, but without things like counters. And in what similar to One Piece, how like easy and streamlined the gameplay is, where like nothing's played by really by effects, they're played by like actual cost of cards, but it's not got the same kind of charging system, and like things don't have like what we call summoning sequence, where in this game, similar to Masters, they can attack on the first turn. So what I thought I'd do is a handy dandy guide to help people learn how to play, because even though yeah, it's similar to those games, it is his own game with its little differences. So before we get into the video to explain how to play the Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World, feel free to drop a like if you enjoy this content, enjoy my content in general. Drop a comment down below if at any point during this video there is something that has been answered or you feel hasn't been answered and you want clarification on, and I'll answer as best I can in the comments. And lastly, make sure to subscribe. It keeps you up to date with my videos as and when they drop. And even by clicking the notification bell, you can get alerts when my videos do drop, so you know where to watch them, either straight away when they drop or know that they're available later to watch when you're able to. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the video and explain how to play the Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World. So, first thing you might want to know is how to win the game, and it's very simple. You either reduce your opponent's life to 0, or you deck your opponent out. So in this game, similar to Masters, you start off with 8 life, and the aim of the game is to make your opponent take all 8 of those life, so opposite the current Pokemon. And once you make your opponent take that last life, then you win the game. And the other way is if you deck your opponent out, so if you make your opponent draw their last card from the deck, you don't win the game because your opponent has now decked out. And it's a little bit different to One Piece and more similar to Masters. In One Piece, you have to make your opponent take all their life, then do an extra damage afterwards, and that's how you win. You got to make him take all their life, then do a damage afterwards. It's not like that. It's similar to Masters, where once your opponent takes their last card from the life, that's it. So once they take the 8 life, they're dead. And if you make your opponent take the last card from the deck, they deck out. It's not like with games like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that, where you got to make your opponent draw after they've got no more cards in the deck to deck out. It's just take the last card. So like in this game, Cinemasters, there's 2 cards you're never going to access to, which is the bottom card of your deck and the last card in your life. So once your opponent takes either takes that last life or draws the last card, that's it, you win the game. So very simple, very easy, and that's what you'll be focusing on. Now you might be wondering how to set up a game. Well, before we learn how to set up a game, you got to understand what kind of cards are included in this game. So there are three types of cards, and you can only build a deck using build your deck using battle cards and extra cards with the same color as your leader. So that means you've got a red leader, you can only play red battle cards and red extra cards, and you can include up to 4 cards with the same card number in your deck. So it means if you got so in this game, different to Masters, you've just got the name of the cards being the characters, so like Son Gohan Adolescence, Son Goku, Kamehameha, as the ones shown on the screen. You can basically cards just have the character name, not like in Masters where they got like a title on the card, and in the traits they've got the name of the character. It's similar to One Piece where the name of the card is the character, and you focus on using cards that same code. So like you got these ones here, you got the Gohan. You can play multiple different Gohans, but you can play 4 of the card with the same code. So well, card number in a sense. So remember that. And the 3 types of cards are leader cards, battle cards, and extra cards. And you need to make sure your deck includes 1 leader card. So it needs 1 leader card. This game revolves around the leader. And you can either have up to 50 to 60 cards in your main deck that include battle cards or extra cards. So you can either have a minimum of 50 cards or a maximum of 60 cards or any number in between. So 51, 52, etc. And all the cards have their card type. So on the right hand side of the card, you've got the card type. So in the leader, it's a leader front. Because the leaders have both 2 sides, just like a master. So you have a leader front, leader back. Then battle cards say battle, extra cards say extra. Then each card has a skill in the little bottom. We got like a little skill box where you have the skills of the card. The colors is shown by in the bottom card where it shows in the bottom right of the card, and where it shows rarity. It's got the color of the card, so what color the card is. You can see the color of the card essentially on the little bottom bit where the rarity is. In the bottom left hand corner where it shows the letter for the color, and also in the little dots by the cost, and in the cost as well, you can see like normally determine what color the card is by in it. So if it shows a lot of red, you can see in the cost, in the dots, in the rarity, it shows the color, and in the bottom it shows the first letter of the color. So for red it's R, for blue it's U, for green it's G, and for yellow it's Y. And the fun fact is, because it shows U for blue instead of B for blue, determines that the fifth color that we haven't seen yet, which will be coming in the game at some point in the future, that's going to be black, because similar to how like other games have it, they have U as blue because both black and blue have BL as the beginning of the letter. So cards go for B for black and then U for blue, because blue also stands for underwater, and some decks they have blue as like water decks and things like that. So that's a fun little fact there. So that's how you set up your game. That's what you need to start off your game. So you need your leader card and 50 to 60 cards for your main deck, built up of either battle cards and or extra cards. And then when we go set up a game, it's very simple and it's very similar to Masters. So this is where it's the side of Masters is where it kind of mostly relates. So when you set up the game, you've got your leader area. You got the top left hand. So you got your leader area at the top left. Then next to that you've got the battle area where you play all your battle cards. Then under your leader you have your life, so where you put your 8 cards for life. Then underneath your battle area you've got your combo area. Then underneath that you've got your energy area where you put your cards that you charge your energy. And then on the right hand side of your board you've got your deck. Then underneath that you've got your drop area. So your deck is where you put your deck. Drop area is where you put your cards you discard. And then you've got battle areas where you play battle cards and activate extra cards. Combo area is where you put your cards that you combo with, either offensively or defensively. And energy area is where you put your energy marker and your cards you charge for energy. So to start off with the game, first of all you shuffle up your deck and place your leader in his leader area. And you got to make sure when you're placing your leader in your leader area, you make sure you put it on the side that shows that is leader front, because that's the front side of your leader. Because in this mechanic, unlike One Piece, you've got the awaken mechanic, which when you get to a certain point, like a certain life total, that's where you can flip your leader over to become like a stronger version of it, like awakened version. So when you do that, you flip your leader over to its other side. So normally with that, it's a little bit different to One Piece, where you've got an awaken. So you make sure when you put your leader down, its leader card is with the side that has leader front, and then when you flip it over, you make sure you flip it over to your leader back. And then you also make sure you put your deck in the deck area after shuffling it as well, so it's there ready. Then once you've done that, you then before you then draw your hand and stuff like that, you got to make sure you determine a player who goes first and who goes second. And you can do that by using a random method. So you can do it by rolling dice, flipping a coin, play rock paper scissors. As long as there's a random way to determine it. But currently we don't actually know if it's which kind of game it's similar to in like picking, because in Masters it's the person who wins the random outcome just go first. So if you roll higher than your opponent, you then have to go first. Whereas in One Piece, I think it is if you win the random method, like win the die roll to determine who goes first, you get the pick if you go first or second. Like currently, we don't know if it's pick or if it's you got to go first from that. We don't know which one it's similar to, if it's One Piece or Masters. But currently, you can do it by just basically deciding with your opponent before you actually do the random outcome, determine what it is, if it's the winner he has to go first or the winner gets to pick. So once you've done that and pick who goes first, then you add the top card of your deck, top 6 cards of your deck to your hand. That is called drawing your hand. And with your hand, that's what you start off the game with. But just like with both games, you do get a mulligan. But the mulligan is a little bit different to Masters, because with Masters, the mulligan is you choose any number of cards from your hand that you don't want, put them back into the deck, shuffle, and then draw back up the same number of cards you put back, and then that is it. Then you play with that hand, and that's it. You get one mulligan. But in Fusion World, it copies the same thing as One Piece, where if you don't want your hand, like saving your hand, you don't have any early turn plays, you're all like big late game threats, and you've got nothing to play early, you can then mulligan your hand by putting all 6 cards back to your deck, shuffling up and drawing a brand new hand. And just like with any mulligan in like just similar with One Piece and Masters, you only get one mulligan, that's it. So make sure to be careful with mulligan. It's best to put your hand back and mulligan if you've got no early turn plays, like you're not having to play turn 1, 2, and 2, things like that. And to make sure to give you a better chance of having a first turn play, because that's one nice thing about these games, is that unlike things like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that, and like Pokemon, there's no optional mulligan. So it helps like lessen the bricking, which is a nice feeling. So once you've got that, once you've done that and you've got your hand, now you add the top 8 cards from your top of your deck to your life under your leader area. And you're supposed to do that by placing the cards such that the card on the top of your deck is at the bottom of your life. So because it's being similar to One Piece in terms of putting your life down, because in One Piece you have like it's relevant in One Piece how you put it down because in that game you have triggers. So it means cards if you get certain cards from your life, you can activate the trigger to basically activate that action. But like playing a card, triggering an effect, things like that. So it's kind of relevant, like how your life is placed and how you take your life. But in Fusion World, there currently isn't from the first set anything that triggers from life that we've seen so far. There's nothing. There's nothing that interacts with life. So currently, it doesn't matter how you put it down, really. But it's always best to follow the rules because you don't want to get rule shite. People probably might. There are people that will rule shite in any game, any given game. So you're supposed to put the cards down from the top of your deck one at a time. So the top card of your deck is technically the bottom card, and take life from the top life every time. Like people might shark you on it, people might not, but let's just get in that habit for when eventually down the road we get cards that interact with the life, and that probably will be at some point because they do have it in Masters, and they do have things like that in One Piece. So once you've done put your life down, then the player who goes second places one card, one energy marker in their energy area. So as you can see on the screen, you got that energy marker, and the fun thing with the energy marker is the same color as your lead. So that means if your lead is green leader, that is a green energy, which makes sense because we've got specified costs, which don't matter currently, but it could be helpful down the road, especially with some cards where the whole cost needs to be a certain color energy. It helps with that as well. But remember, with the energy marker, once it's used, it's gone. So it's a temporary energy where once it's used, it's gone for good. So you get one-time use of it. So just make sure that when you go second, you kind of don't have that negative aspect of being behind energy for one turn. So once you've done that, that's how you set up the game. Then you're ready to play. And with playing the game, there are 3 different phases. So with the phases, you have the charge phase, you have the main phase, and you have the end phase. So the charge phase is how you set up your turn, like start your turn, set everything back up so you can play. The main phase is where you deal with your actions, and then the end phase is just where you like finish up any effects before you pass it over to your opponent's turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into each of these phases, explain a little bit more in detail about what they include. So start off with the charge phase. So first thing you do in your charge phase is switch all your rest mode cards active mode. It means switching from being sideways to standing up, so active. So in every game you have this tapped. Like in Magic you have it, you could call it untapped. Cards that are like sideways, they're called tapped. And then the other one's called untapped. So you tap and untap cards. In that one you have switched to. And in this game it's rest active mode. You have different names for different cards, but in this game it's supposed to be rest mode active mode. But you can generally, like myself as well, we could just say tapped and untapped because you use that kind of wording from playing other games. So yeah, first action to do, switch anything that's rested to active mode. So that means battle cards, leader cards, and energy. And then after you've done that, the next thing you do is you draw a card from your deck. It's set on the first player's turn, or first player's first turn. So like with many games, imagine if you've played Masters or One Piece, you've got the same kind of thing. Where on the first turn of the game, for the first player's first turn, that player does not draw a card, kind of because they're going first. They got that benefit of being the first turn player, going first, having the first action, and having the first turn, so they don't draw a card. But once the first player's first turn has passed, then you start drawing cards. So that's the second action. Then the third action is you have the option to charge a card from your energy. Now I say you have the option because early at the start of the game, when you first start the game, you're going to want to be charging a card from your hand to have energy because because when you put energy cards in the energy area is how you play cards. So it's a little bit different to One Piece where you take cards from your Don area, or Don deck, and put it in your Don area. It's the same as Masters where you put a card from your at the start of the turn, you put a card from your hand to your energy upside down to be an energy, and those cards in the energy area are how you pay for cards and pay for the costs. And you have the option to do it because you don't have to do it if you don't want to. So early in the game you want to do that, but as you get later onto the game, as you get to like turn 6 and onwards, you might not feel the need to put cards in energy because you want to keep going cards in hand, or might have enough energy to play any card in your hand. So as you get later on the turn, it's optional, so you don't have to charge if you don't want to, but you can if you want to. But you only get the option on the charge phase at the end. So the easy way to remember this is for the charge phase is switch, is untap, draw, and charge. is things. So untap, draw, and charge is what you do at the start of turn in that order, and then you then proceed once you've done the charge phase. Once you've done those three things, or chose to do those, well, you've got to untap, you've got to draw, and that once you've done the option to charge if you want to or not, you then go on to your main phase. And the main phase, this includes three different things for the main phase. So there's three different options you can perform, and they can perform in any order and as many times as you like. So the first kind of option, first kind of thing you can do is use a card from your hand. So you can use a card hand by either like playing a battle card or by activating an extra card by switching the same number of energy as the cost shown in the upper left card to rest mode. And extra cards, except for the filled extra cards, which are like a type of extra card, are placed in your drop area after use. So for battle cards, you pay the energy cost and play them onto board in the battle area. And for extra cards, you basically activate the cost, you pay the cost, activate the effect, then place it in the drop. So extra cards are kind of like spells. You cast them and then they're gone. Whereas battle cards are like creatures. You play them and they go in your battle area ready to do things like attack and activate skills. And the only difference in extra cards being they are fill cards, like we said. Fill cards, they're extra cards, but they come in like battle cards. So you pay the cost, and they come into the battle card, but you can only have one fill card on a board at any given time. Once you play it, if you want to play a new one, you have to lose the fill cards already in the battle area, and those fill cards just sit there in the battle area, and are there. They can't be interacted with unless the card specifies cards instead of battle cards, because they're not a battle card, they're still an extra card, but in the battle area. And speaking of cards, when cards on the cost of the card, so you have in the top left-hand corner, you have the cost of the card, and you also have the color specified cost. Now with the color by specified cost, if a card has a color specified cost or a color cost, the color and number of cards switched to rest mode must also match the number and cost of the orbs in the specified cost. So for example, on our screen, we have Android 17, so just like the example shows, if you want to play Android 17, we have to switch 3 cards from our energy area to rest mode to pay the cost of 3, and at least one of those cards needs to be red. Now currently in the beginning of the game it doesn't matter, but as we get on and have more sets in future, we may end up getting things like multicolor leaders like One Piece has, where leaders that have 2 colors instead of 1. And considering that for this game, you can only play cards in your deck similar to One Piece of the same color as your lead. Currently we only have one color lead, so if you're playing a red deck, you play red cards. But if we get any leaders in future that are 2 colors, say like a red and blue leader, that allow you to play then red cards and blue cards, and that's where the color specified cost comes into being more crucial. Where currently doesn't matter if all your cards are red, but as we get multicolored leaders, that matter, making sure you pay the specified cost, making sure you have the least making the color costs for your energy are the same as what's specified on the card. So if a card was a multicolored card and it costed 2 and it had 1 blue, 1 red, you have to play you have to rest 1 card in your energy area as red and 1 card that's blue. So that's how you use cards from your hand. You pay the energy cost by tapping the cards up to the number of cost. Play the card into if a battle card, put it into a battle area. Extra card you put into a drop. So you can also never action. So the second action you can also do is activate a card skill. So the different ones you can do, so you can either activate main or awaken skill on your leader or battle cards on your field. So not just battle cards but also field cards have examples. So any activate main or awaken skill on your leader, battle card or field card can be used, and if a skill has skill conditions, they must be fulfilled. So for example, the awaken skill is when you last 4 or less, you draw a card to flip the leader over, and that's something that all leaders have. They might have different effects, but like you gotta need to follow effects. And then what I mean by if a skill has skill conditions, it must be fulfilled. Some of them have things like paying a cost, but like paying a certain type of energy, like a red energy, blue energy, whatever, or a certain number of energy, or like with the example from a Paragus card in the Broly Star deck. So an activate main once per turn, where if your leader is Broly and you have no Shimon battle cards, so that's the kind of like cost, like the specific like skill conditions, is that your leader needs to be Broly, and you need to have no Shimon cards in your battle area. Then you get to play up a Shimon card with cost of 1 from your drop. So if your leader's got any conditions like specific leader, specific conditions, you need to make sure those are fulfilled to fulfill the effect. So that's the second thing you do, activate skills, and then the next one, and the main way how you like try and win the game, is attack an opponent's card. So you can attack opponent's opponent's card by switching your active mode leader or battle card to rest mode, and you can attack your opponent's leader card or a battle card in rest mode in the battle area. So as shown here, you switch with the with the Android 18, you switch it from active mode to rest mode to show that you're going to attack. You can never attack your opponent's leader, no matter if it's rested or if it's in rest mode or active mode. And you can attack your opponent's battle cards, but you can only attack your opponent's battle cards that are rest mode. So in rest mode meaning sideways. And there are a few conditions when it comes to the battle. So first one is the first player can't attack on their first turn. So if you're the first player going first, your first turn you can't draw a card from top, draw a card in your charge phase, and you can attack on your first turn because otherwise it'd be a bit too unfair, a bit too aggressive. So you can't do that. And the next one is you can't attack the opponent's active mode battle cards. So if your opponent's got battle cards in active mode, you can't attack them. You can only attack them if they're rest mode. There's ways to rest them, like in yellow and stuff like that. And battle cards can attack the same turn they are played. So it's not like One Piece where you play a battle card, you can play a card out, and then you can't attack with it. You have to wait a turn to attack. That is not the case. It's similar to Masters, where cards can attack the turn they come down. There's no restriction unless it's specified stated on the card. And then the last one is similar with both games, is if a player has a card with blocker on board, then they can activate blocker before the offense step proceeds. So that means before you do any like comboing or anything like that, your opponent can choose to activate the effect of blocker on a card before you get to do the combo. So you can blocker essentially means you after your opponent's declared their attack, you can redirect the attack to that specified card that has blocker by switching it to rest mode. So if you've got a card with blocker, you rest it and go, it's going to attack this card now. Essentially taking the hit and blocking it. So that is the three things you do in the main phase, but there is more to the main phase than just that, because then we have the battle procedure. Because as you know, with the attack, there's things to do, and things have on the left side of each of the battle cards, they've got like combo power, being like plus 0, plus 5k, or plus 10k combo. And you might be wondering how to use that. How do you combo in this game? Well, it's not the same as One Piece, where you don't have to do it beforehand. It's the same as Masters, and we'll explain that now. So the battle procedure. So you have 3 different steps in the battle procedure. That's the offensive step, the defensive step, and the damage step. So what that basically means is after you declare an attack, you then have the offensive step, which is the turn player's combo phase. So the offensive step, the attacking player can perform the following any number of times. You can perform the following number of actions any number of times in practically any order, and that is use an activate battle or awaken skill. So during the offensive step, the turn player can use any activate battle skills or any awaken skill, or their awaken skill if they got, which you only have one awaken skill in your lead, and activate any activate battle skills you have. So it might be use your awaken. And remember, this is the person that's attacking. So the person attacking on the offensive step can use awaken or activate battle. And the other thing you can do is use a combo. And with the combo procedure, you do that by placing a battle card from your hand or that's active or any active battle card in your battle area into the combo area. You can add the combo power shown to that card's left side to the power of the card during the damage step. And after the battle is over, cards in the combo areas are placed in the bonus drop areas. So essentially, what that basically means is that when you get to your offensive step, you can combo with these cards. Remember, they got to be in active mode in your battle area or from your hand. And that little bit on the left-hand side that says like plus 10k, plus 5k, plus 0. And in the damage step, that gets added to the power of your leader to then determine a winner. So that's what you do in the offensive step. So after you attack, the attacking player gets to then go first in basically doing combos and stuff, where they can use combos or activate battle skills or awaken skills. Then once you finish your offensive step, that's when the defending player, so the opponent, gets to perform their defensive step. And the defensive step, it basically means the attack player can perform this following any number of times. So that's when they get to use their activate battle skills or awaken skills. So in their turn, in the defensive step. So if you're the player that's being attacked, you can now choose to use any active battle skills or any awaken skills. And this is also the time when you get to use your combos. So you do the exact same thing as combo, but you get to do it after your opponent's done the combo, which is quite nice. So That's it. So the offensive step is the turn player or attacking players' time to use activate battle skills, awaken skills, or combos. And the defensive step, after they've done their offensive step, is the defending players' time to use combos, activate battle, and awaken skills. And then once that's over, you then go to the damage step, and this is where you now compare the card's power. And if the attacking player's card has power greater than or equal to the attacked card, the attacking player wins the battle. So if you attack, say, if you attack a card that's 20k and your card is 20k and you combo a 10k and your opponent combos a 5k, you're 30k at the damage step, they're 25k, so you win the battle. If you combo 10k and they combo 10k, you're 30k, they're 30k. You still win the battle because the attacking, when it comes to equal power, the attacking player wins. And if you combo 5k and they combo 10k, you're 25, they're 30, and they win the battle. So, like I just said, if the attacking player wins, so that's how you determine if you win. So if you're if you're stronger or equal to their power, you win. If you're weaker than their power, you lose the battle. So if the attacking player wins against a leader card, then the opponent takes 1 damage and adds 1 card from the top of their life to their hand. Now, if your opponent's got a card that has critical, then instead of adding the 1 card from as damage from your life to your hand, you place that in the drop instead. So if your opponent the attacking card has critical wins the battle against a leader card, instead of placing that card from the life to the hand, they place it from the life to their drop. And if the attacking card has skills like double strike is when you take 2 damage instead of 1. So if your opponent wins, the attacking player wins against a leader card with a card that has double strike, your opponent takes 2 cards from their life and adds it to their hand instead of 1. But then if the attacking player wins against a battle card, the defeated battle card is KO'd and then placed in the owner's drop area. So it's KO'd, placed it into the drop. And if the attacking player loses, the battle simply ends. So if you're attacking into a battle card and you lose the battle, the defending battle card stays there and the battle ends. If you're attacking a leader and you lose the battle, so your opponent has the leader's power is stronger than the attacking card, then the battle just ends. You take no damage. Simple as that. If you played Master, that'd be similar, but it might be a little bit different if you've played One Piece or not played TCGs. So that is the damage step. So that's what you do every time you do a battle. You do like attack a card, you do defensive step, and then damage step. So with that out of the way, we know now what the charge phase involves, what the main phase involves. Now we get to the end phase. So with the end phase, you do basically just do these things. You declare the end of your turn, so you declare that I'm going to end the turn. You then activate and resolve any end of turn effects, so any skills that have been active during a turn, they just drop off. And then anything that activates at the end of the turn, then activates and resolves. And then you pass the turn to your opponent, and your opponent then commences with their turn, starting their charge phase, main phase, and then the end phase, and you go back and forth like that. It's very simple. So once you get to the end phase, that's it. You basically declare the end of your turn, ending any effects that have been on for the turn, triggering any end of turn effects, and letting your opponent take their turn. So very simple, and that's how you play the game. And there are also some additional skills as well we'll go over that are in the game to make sure they're a little bit clearer. So we've already kind of gone on this. We've got double strike. So double strike, as I said, this card inflicts 2 damage instead of 1. So when you do damage to a leader, so this skill doesn't matter when it comes to battle card and battle card attacking, but when it comes to battle cards attacking a leader, instead of inflicting 1 damage like normal, if your card's got double strike and it is stronger than your opponent's leader, they take 2 damage instead of 1. Then we've got critical. So when this card inflicts damage with an attack, the life is placed in the drop area. So as we said, when you do damage with a card to a leader, and when your attacking card is stronger than your opponent's leader, and in the damage step, your opponent then takes 1 card from their life, places it in the hand. But if the card has critical as attacking and wins the battle, your opponent then places the card in the drop area instead of their hand from their life. So critical is a very strong skill, and this is usually one that people combo out to avoid. But sometimes sometimes it might not be the way to combo out of them if you need to awaken, because awaken's a good skill. Then we got blocker. So this is one we referred to when it comes to the before we got to the battle procedure. So blocker, After an opponent's attack, you may switch this card to rest mode and change the target of the attack to this card. So it means that after the opponent's declared they're going to attack, after declared what they're attacking with and what they're attacking at, you can then activate before it gets to the battle procedure. So when you start comboing, you can use blocker, switching the card with blocker that you're activating blocker on to rest mode and changing it so they're attacking now the blocker card instead of whatever card they wanted to attack. And then we've got the super combo. So this is a deck building keyword. So super combo, you can have a maximum of 4 cards with super combo in place in the deck, and you might be thinking, what is the benefit of this? Well, super combo is a very useful tool, and it's in Masters it's a very very good one. You need 4 cards. It's normally like a powerful combo that allows you to draw cards. So normally when you combo with a card from hand, you lose that card because you're using the combo, you're not getting it back. You see, you're losing a card in hand to defend a card. But with super combos in Masters, they're normally cards that when you use combo, you can get the full like maximum benefit of it, which in Masters is 10k, and then draw cards. So you're not losing any cards in hand and still comboing a lot of combo power to defend something. That's a little bit different in Fusion World because in this game they don't draw, and there's definitely combo power. Like in this game, there's 5k combos, 10k combos, and they don't have any combo cost, unlike Masters. But the benefit of super combo currently from the starter decks and from the main set by the looks of it is they're very good defensive cards because they're made at 7 costs, so they're basically they're made at like high costing cards to put you off from playing them because they're not cards that are good to play. They're better ones used for combo, hence the word super combo. They're weak power because they're costs as well to kind of put you off. They've got 10k combo as well because they got the maximum amount of combo, but they also have currently a useful effect which is an auto, and only during your opponent's turn. So they're not as good aggressively as they are defensively. They're more of a defensive tool in this game. Where when you use this card in the combo from your hand, once again they kind of like incite you to want to keep it in hand and play it. This card gets 10k combo, meaning that if you combo offensively, so if you attack something, then combo with this, it's just a 10k combo. That's it. But if you are being attacked and you combo with this card, it becomes a 20k combo because it gets a 10k combo it has plus the auto trigger to give you an extra 10k combo, meaning for this one card it gives you 20k combo power for one card, whereas normally it would require a minimum of 2 cards to combo 20k. So that's the benefit of the super combos. And because of how strong they are defensively, because 20k combo from one card is very good at defending as a card, you only include 4 cards up in the deck, and that's a key deck building keyword. So you can only have 4 cards in your deck. You can't have 5 cards of super combo. You can only have 4. You can have different ones if there's different ones available. So I think there'll be one in the sets and in the starter decks. So you can include different versions of it, but you can only have maximum of 4 cards with super combo in your deck. And then the last one we've got is Awaken. So here we go. We've got an example on board on the screen, so you can see what it looks like with the leaders. They got both, because I said they got both sides. So you can activate Awaken, and that's by fulfilling the skill. So like here with Goku, when the starter deck leads. So once your life is reduced to 4 less, once you've got 4 less cards in your life, you can then activate your Awaken either during your main phase, or offensive step, or during your opponent's defensive step. You can activate Awaken, which is when your life's at a certain amount, which in this case 4. You then draw a card, then flip it over. So you draw a card and flip it over from your front side to your back side. And there's a good difference in this because, as you can see from the card, you go from Son Goku to Son Goku, and like the picture changes as well because now he's like awakened. He's a lot stronger. He's powered up. He's transformed. He's now Super Saiyan. You got the Awaken on there as well, and your power is a lot better. So you went from a 15k on your front side to a 20k on there, which is more power to attack with and more power to defend with. And you now have more skills. So before, the only skill you really had was attacking, draw a card. Now on the Awaken side, you still have that, but you also have a new skill, Activate Battle. A new skill like on this one, Activate Battle once per turn. Choose up to one of your battle cards, gives 5k power for the battle. I mean, you can use beneficial skills to help you out, and that's most of the reason why you want to play different leaders, because different leaders have different effects, and some of them are more interesting than certain players. Some of them are a lot stronger than others as well. So, and that is it. That is how to play Dragon Ball Super Card Game Fusion World. So if you have any questions or anything like that, this is from like the beginning of the game, so before the set's actually released, to help you understand before you get into when you go into playing webcam locals, things like that. Because I do webcam locals on every Wednesday for Fusion World. Currently using proxies till Star Decks set's released, and it will be using actual cards and still playing by webcam having fun until we see the digital client. Then it might change. But for now, Feel free to go out and play the games, enjoy it, have a try of it, and just have fun with this more simplified game of Dragon Ball that looks really fun to play. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.